Hello, it is Friday, and that means once again, my life as your state representative. This is week 14. And as you can tell from the sound and from the backgrounds, I'm not in my office at the state capitol. Um, okay, so here's a great insight to my life as your state representative. It seems like we never work on Fridays. I feel like like the ultimate government worker. No offense to the government workers watching, but holy cow, uh, nothing. We're constantly taking Fridays off. Now some people don't have it off. The staff for a lot of the so like the Democrat caucus, the Republican caucus, the staff of the Capitol, those sort of people, they don't have the day off, and it's not really an official day off. But the thing is, if they cancel floor session, that means you generally cancel your caucus meetings, and if you don't have any committees that you're on Friday, then it's generally a day off. Now, I might spend part of it at the Capitol and some of it at home, and I work on my home computer. But it kind of drives me crazy because the thing is, when we stopped yesterday, so Thursday, um, on the floor, we got done at noon, and we had only passed, I don't know, 5 or 6 bills. Now, not that I'm for passing lots of bills, but the point is there were a lot of them that we could have voted on, and we could have got a lot done yesterday, and then today maybe wrapped those up and then gotten ready for Monday. Or perhaps I don't know. This sort of drives me crazy. There's a lot of Fridays off. We've had, I'm going to guess, 4 or 5 of the last, at least 4 or 5 straight Fridays that we've had off, so to speak. The one who's getting the best deal on this, let me just tell you. Now I'm going to embarrass him right now, but Garrett Wolford, who is my legislative assistant, he was my campaign manager back during the campaign last year. Garrett works for me part time, Wednesdays, Thursdays, and Fridays. Yes. Once again, Garrett gets another great day off. he's, he's got a sweet deal. But my chief of staff, Betsy Schultz, is gone all of next week, so Garrett C. is going to work extra days next week, and so we'll get a little bit out of him. And then as the session wears down to the grinding halt sometime in June, perhaps, then we'll put Garrett to work more often. I'll get my money back. You know what I mean? I mean, I'm paying the guy, so I'm going to get my money back. But anyway, okay, so what happened over the last week? The biggest thing was Senate Bill 941, the Universal Background Check Bill. Terrible, terrible bill. Terrible, terrible law that it will be a completely unenforceable law. But I'm not saying anything new that you haven't heard already. You've heard it everywhere. So, why add any more to this? Read my newsletter and get some more details on that. You can actually watch the video of what I had to say that day. I think there was twice I spoke on the House floor in our about 4.5, 5 hour debate on Senate Bill 941. It passed. 3 Democrats voted no, and I want to publicly thank these 3 for their firm stance for our Second Amendment rights. Representative Jeff Barker, I believe he's from Aloha. Representative Brad Witt from Clatskanie, and Representative Caddy McEwen from Coos Bay. Thank you, along with all the Republicans. We thought we had 2 more Democrats earlier in the day, but we understand that perhaps there might have been some persuasive techniques that were done to get them to vote yes. Won't name any names, but hey, that's the way the game is played, I guess. One of the things that I try to tell people all the time is it's supposed to be a citizen legislature. I said that last year when I was campaigning, and I still contend it is a citizen legislature. The problem that we have is that let's be blunt, it pays $1,921 a month. Now, granted, that is paid all year round. And you might say, yeah, well, there's going to be some months where you're not going to work, Bill. That is probably true. But if you count the 5 to 7 month regular session in the odd numbered years like this year, and then you count the 35, 40 day short session in the even numbered year, and you count the work groups and interim sessions and interim committees that will be held in between, and you count special meetings that you have to have, caucus meetings, that you count all that, it's almost a full-time job. Now, I'm not complaining about the money. Don't get me wrong here. I'm just kind of voicing a thought here that I'd like you to think about a little bit. It would require something, probably a ballot measure or something. But think about this. I'm fortunate in that my wife has a good enough job that I can afford to do this. There's a lot of people, maybe you watching right now, and you think, you know what, I wouldn't mind representing my state in the state legislature, but I can't afford it. I can't take time off from my job. My boss would never let me do it, that sort of thing. And I think that's a real loss. Because when you look around the Oregon State Legislature, whether it be in the House or in the Senate, what you find are a lot of doctors, attorneys, a lot of attorneys. So they just kind of, step away from their practice for a little while because they have partners or whatever. You have a lot of retired people. Many of them are retired, police officers, and no offense to any of them, but they're getting PERS or some sort of retirement, so they can kind of double dip in essence. So where are the people, just the regular folks that are the working folks of Oregon, coming to represent us at the Capitol in Salem? That bothers me, and I think the only way that you can truly get true citizen legislature is we're going to have to do something about the compensation. Whether it's, I don't want to be there year round. I really don't. I don't want to have a California style assembly legislature where we're meeting all year round, all the time, like Congress in Washington. I don't want that. But there seems to me like there has to be some sort of compensation to make it more attractive to more people that they could actually leave their jobs and come do this. But then there's the argument that you'll have people that will do it as their career forever and ever. We already have people that do it for a career forever and ever. Peter Courtney. Anyway, I don't know. It just seems like an issue that we should address perhaps. So I wanted to bring that up. The other thing that you'll see on my newsletter this week when it comes out is the video. Hopefully you'll go watch the video and you see some pictures of something that was really a thrill for me this week. I'll give you the quick backstory. Chief John Teague of the Kaiser Police Department came to me and he said, you know what, I just read your dad's autobiography, Created for a Purpose. And I was struck by it. I said, he said, you should honor your dad in some way. And I said, well, that would be kind of embarrassing if I did that. And so he lives out in the Dallas area, so his state representative is Representative Mike Neerman. So he went, and my dad lives out there too, so he went to Mike Neerman, and graciously, Representative Neerman came up with House Concurrent Resolution 23. Now, those aren't bills, they're resolutions. So they're saying, we resolve to acknowledge blah, blah, blah. We do a lot of those. We do House Joint Memorials, we do Senate Joint Memorials, we do House Concurrent Resolutions. They're sort of symbolic things. And sometimes they're good, sometimes they're not so good. But in this case, what it was is to honor Ron Post, my dad, for founding Northwest Medical Teams and for his work over all those years, all over the world, saving people all over the world and changing lives in a huge way. And so we surprised him. We punked him. He had no idea. I told him, I really need you to come, Dad, on Thursday to the house and sit down on the floor with me. It'd be great because I'm going to give a very important speech. And so he fell for it, hook, line, and sinker. My mom knew about it. She was sitting over in the side gallery. And about the time that Obie Rutledge, who reads all the bills up at the front of the House floor, said, House Concurrent Resolution 23, to honor Ron Post for founding of Northwest Medical Teams. Right about then, my dad went, we got him good. It was great. Everybody in the entire Oregon House knew that it was coming, and they knew that he was sitting right next to me, and they knew that it was a secret, and they knew that he didn't know, and it was a lot of fun. And he was overcome with emotion. It was really something, and many of the state reps got up and said a few words about it, and it was great. We got him good, and you can watch that whole video again at my newsletter or at my Facebook page. If you go to Bill Post for Oregon on Facebook, you can watch the video. What you do is it's the video of the entire floor session, so it's like an hour and a half long. If you want to just watch that one part, there's underneath the video itself, the little square video, you'll see a kind of a script that runs down. If you click on the one that says HCR 23 and it says Neerman, click there, the video will advance to when that's introduced, and then let it play until that's over with. Anyway, it's well worth it just to see the look on my dad's face. So, the bad, we passed Senate Bill 941. The good, we honored my dad. That was pretty cool. Here's the other thing. My my bill to allow food and drink to be consumed again in these exempted cigar shops, including Ava Cigars and Wine here in Salem, is going to be signed into law on Tuesday by Governor Kate Brown. I'm looking forward to that. And he can take those signs down and can enjoy your coffee, your water, your sandwich at Ava Cigars and Wine. I'm pretty excited about that. My CHL Bill 3093 is going to be heard in the Senate Judiciary Committee on Tuesday. Is that the 14th? Yes. You can see the link to that again on my newsletter, and we'll have more information out at my Facebook page, Bill Post for Oregon. But I'm a little concerned. There is a rumor that they might take my bill and do a gut and stuff, which is a regular thing that's done in the legislature, where everything is tied to the relating clause at the top. So in other words, they'll say relating to telephones, relating to healthcare. And the thing is, if you make that a fairly broad relating to clause, you can put almost anything in there and remove all the language. Don't get me started on whether this is right or wrong. It's wrong, but they do it. Because mine is related to guns, you could take anything that has to do with firearms and put it in there. You gut out the language and put it in. So long story short, I'm hoping like heck that Senator Floyd Przonski and the others in the Senate Judiciary Committee just leave it alone, pass it, send it to the Senate floor, Senate passes it, and then it's done, and it just needs the signature of the governor, and we would have a CHL reciprocity bill in Oregon. It would be it's been tried like 7 straight sessions, and nobody can get it passed. I finally got it off the House floor unanimously. No, excuse me, there was one no vote. But finally, CHL reciprocity in Oregon. So other states would recognize Oregon's concealed handgun license, and Oregon would recognize other states' concealed handgun license. It's a big deal to me. So I hope that they don't mess with it in the Senate Judiciary Committee. Okay, I've droned on too long. I try to keep these short. If you ever have any questions, please call our office, 503-986-1425. 503-986-1425, except on Fridays when we're never there, it seems like. And then email is rep.billpost@state.or.us. Love to hear from you. And if you live in my district, which is Kaiser, St. Paul, and Newburgh, you're always welcome to come to the office. Just call ahead of time so we make sure we block some time for you. Love to see you. I hope you have a fantastic weekend. And to all the moms, happy Mother's Day.